Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So I've been painting up and working on these DPM Gold kits. I just dropped my brush on the floor, but so I'm painting up the side of the movie theater. I'm just going with a sort of a dark brown brick. I'm trying to get it somewhat weathered while I paint it. That's the way I paint. I've always painted that way. I started putting some of these kits together. I already put together this bottom up pub. That one, while it's very short, it's very long, and it didn't fit where I wanted it to fit. So I'm about to, do the rest of my streets and sidewalks, and realize that if I would have done the streets and sidewalks, I would have actually not been able to put that building in because I would have done it wrong. So actually, this building now is over by the diner. See, that's kind of why I'm doing these kits right now, is I want to make sure that I put these buildings in the right area. And I run all the wiring and stuff, and I do the streets right. Like I said, I've been working on the layout a bit on some certain areas, but it keeps coming back to I have to do some of these kits, especially the ones that need to go into town, before I can actually seemingly do something. So it seems like the month of January is going to be kit crazy, but I'm going to try to do little things like I've been doing with the water areas and doing the rock areas. And I just finished the thing for the bridge. I finished it, but I'm pretty close to finishing it. And that allows me to then do the streets and sidewalks over there, which is another thing that needs to be done. Good morning, everyone. So I worked on this little scene a little bit more. I decided to put a gravel road in instead of a concrete road, and I think it looks a lot better. I just put these little cars in here to simulate the space. As you can see, that gravel road looks a lot better than I think concrete. And this here is where the boat landing is going to be. I'm going to have to put some, I'm not sure if I'm going to put gravel there or I'm going to make it look like sort of a silty type road going down there. I didn't go all the way past here because I'm not sure if I'm going to put some dirt or if I put more concrete, but I have to put that pylon in for the bridge. So I'm probably going to do that first, and then whatever other room I have, I can put either some dirt or more of the gravel. But I really like it. I think it's turned out pretty nice. I got some greenery around here, not too much right now, but I want to put some more bushier type sort of coarse turf and more clumpy foliage along this thing. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is glued in, so I glued this in last night. I didn't film me gluing it. I just put some white glue on the bottom and got it to stay upright, which was not the easiest thing in the world. But now you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, how that stone wall now looks like it keeps continuing back there. That's why I didn't go all the way back there. I still have more work to do, but now this will allow me to take this gravel road that I started. I'm going to go all the way up to the edge of this. Now there's some room next to this that I'm thinking of maybe putting a little bit, because there is a ridge up here, but then it drops down. I'm thinking maybe put some plaster cloth or something to kind of bring a slight little slope. It's ready for the bridge, so I can work on the roads over here. The country roads, I guess I call them the country roads. Country roads are much smaller. See how tiny they are. Let me get that bridge over here out so you can kind of see how this is going to go. Okay. Place it in here. It's going to go roughly somewhere like that. Actually, if I look at this little pylon thing, it should be fully covered up. So I'm guessing it's going to be something like that. So that's going to be the bridge. Now, this bridge has over 1/4 of an inch thing. So what I'm going to have to do here on both sides of this is I'm going to put some foam, pieces of foam, and kind of curve them in here and sort of box in the bridge and get it up. Basically that road stuff is a 1/16 of an inch when you lay it out pretty much. So I'm going to get this up so there's a 1/16 of an inch so that road will be flush with this bridge. I still have to paint the road section of the bridge and the side rails, but I just kind of pushed that off and just never really done it yet. But so if I can put pieces of foam on both sides, probably what I'm going to have to do is kind of use some of that foam putty, so once it comes here I can kind of curve it down, and then plaster cloth over it, and then I can basically lay the plaster over the top, and then it should go right over. Hey! So I started working on these DPM Gold kits, and this is the first one that I started with. It's this little pub, and so far this is what I got. Hopefully you can see it. It's pretty hard to see it. It's pretty small. So it's a green bottom. This kind of went to a cream color brick, and it's what I did all the way around. Lighting this particular building up, so I have to go in and light proof it. But it still needs an awning on it. There you go. And that looks pretty good at that angle. You can get kind of an idea. It's not a very big building whatsoever. And so it's just this little pub. And so let's put the awning on, and then a couple little doodads, and then put the roof on, and this one will be done. Okay, people, how you doing? I want to put like a little hill here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some plaster cloth in there, wad it up into like little balls. So that looks pretty good. That's about basically what I was looking to do. I'm not sure how much you can see there, but yeah, it just gives a nice little transition off of this top part here. And I want to put more of this gravel stuff down there that will go all the way to the edge of that pier or pylon, and then I'll have green stuff that'll come up. Okay, we are going to put some scenery stuff in, so I'm going to get my glues ready. I'm going to need, so I got bushy material, basically. It's just trying to get these areas to dry, and so the stuff doesn't move around before I come back, because there's definitely some areas where I want to add some more along here, but I don't really want to touch it because that other stuff is still pretty wet. But so the overpass will be here, so this will give that these darker colors to look like there's a shadow, and maybe the sun is coming from this direction, and then on this side it gets lighter again. This is what I've added so far of the little scenery bushy stuff. Not a lot, just a little. The thing is, there's other areas where I still want to put more, but I really kind of want to wait for that stuff to dry, because it's in big clumps. So like I want to come back over and do some more, especially alongside this stone wall to kind of hide the seam at the top there, and I will also do it at the bottom, because I'm going to be putting some more of this gravel road in up here. I'm not going to really put any of that stuff down there yet, And then now I have that hill in there, and I can tell you this plaster cloth I put in here to put that little gradual hill in there is turned out pretty well. It's already pretty dry, and it makes that pylon look a lot better. It did add a little white residue on there, but I can go back and wipe that off. But now that's in there pretty good. So this area is starting to look pretty neat. I got some excess scenery stuff here, but yeah, it's starting to look a little bit more like I want to see it. It's still definitely not done yet. There's definitely more work to be done, and it definitely takes time, and I'm definitely going to have to do this one in a couple stages, because I definitely want this stuff to dry, but I might want to also put some vines and stuff along this rock wall. But yeah, I think it is starting to look a little bit better. And then I have to come and I want to do that same thing over here. Add some more bushy stuff here and over here. And there are going to be some rocks along here to make it look like more like a cliff. But I want to put flat rocks here because I have some little figures. I think I've shown you a long time ago. I had some figures that are unpainted figures. Well, some of them in that little kit are fishermen. So I want to stick some fishermen alongside the stone areas, like on top of the rocks. And then I also have some grass stuff I want to add along the water. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I cleared off the whole town, the whole layout. One thing I got is a bridge over here. I'm not sure if you can see that from the angle, but yeah, we have to pave the rest of this town. I'm going to do it in basically 3 phases. From what I got left. So I'm going to start with this section here and this section here, and then I have to come back and do this section right here, which I'm not going to do today or tomorrow, and then do the crossings. Those are my three phases.